Rabbi Lawrence Kushner once shared a wonderful story about an experience he had with his synagogue's preschool students. During a schmooze with the preschool children in the synagogue sanctuary, Rabbi Kushner intended to talk about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And before the children would go back to their classrooms, he was going to open the ark, take out a Sefer Torah, open it up, and show the children the Torah. But as things went, Rabbi Kushner lost track of time. So he said to the kids, "Listen, next time you come up here to the big room, I will open the doors and I will show you what's behind the doors." So the kids went back to the class, and later that day, the preschool director came into Rabbi Kushner's office and said, "You will never believe the conversation these kids came up with when they went back to their room. They started saying to themselves, 'What's behind the door?' One child said, 'Oh, there's nothing behind the door. It's a big fake, a lie.' Another one said, 'Listen, I watch TV all the time. I know that behind that door is a brand new car.' And then another child said, 'I know, behind those doors you will find a great big mirror.'" At first glance, this is a very cute and funny story. But if you really think about it, this story has a deep message. This boy has it right, that there is a mirror behind the doors. Behind the doors of the ark, we see our own reflection, because each and every one of us is created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. When we open the ark and take out the Torah, at first glance it appears to be merely a physical object. But if you take a moment to stop and reflect, you will realize that God is present. And this coming Shabbat, we read from the Torah the portion of Mishpatim. We learn about the laws or the judgments that the people are to follow that can be arrived at by human reason. But the question I ask you is, how do we feel the presence of God while following these laws? What do we see when we think of God and His Mishpatim? What did God look like as He gave the people the laws? What did God sound like? Is God old, young, a male, a female? Is God a noun, or is God indescribable? When do we feel the presence of God? There are many ways one can understand God. Rabbi Feinstein explains that when we're talking about God, we're not talking about someone being up there in heaven, somebody separate from us and from the world looking down on us. God isn't up there or even out there. God is the all. God is everything. God is what connects everything to everything else, including us, the ones looking for God. We as Jews constantly search for ways to bring God into our lives, and we do this through the laws that we were given and through our rituals, whether it's lighting candles, reciting Kiddush, or wearing a talit. And this Shabbat, we learn about the laws that bring meaning into our lives. And just a few weeks ago, when Moses heard the voice of God at the burning bush, God did not sound like Darth Vader. The rabbis teach us that what Moses hears is his own voice, commanding him to go free his people. According to the rabbis, God's voice doesn't come from far away. By making God part of us, God speaks to us from deep within ourselves. I admit it is difficult to describe God. It is so difficult to describe God that we use a number of metaphors: shepherd, father, king, rock, healer, redeemer. I can go on and on. God is not a shepherd and God is not a rock. These names do not tell us what God is. Rather, these metaphors tell us what God does. And to feel the presence of God, we the Jewish people are fortunate to have laws, rituals, prayers, and the Torah to help us feel God's presence. God is out there, but it is up to us to welcome God into our lives and into the lives of those around us. By making the ordinary extraordinary, by making things holy, we bring God into our lives. We can't hear, see, or touch God. But when a new baby is born, when a bar or bat mitzvah is celebrated, when we sit together on Shabbat, we feel the presence of God. We are all created in the image of God. B'tselem Elohim. Shabbat Shalom.